I think one of the biggest reasons I stayed stuck in unhealthy relationships or even spending years obsessing over finding love is because I, as so many other people, have been sold one very convincing lie. And that is the myth that there is one person out there who is meant for you. That one person that is your soulmate, your missing piece, your other half, that one person that is the one. And I know it's very romantic, it's beautiful, it makes for incredible movies and even for best-selling novels. But I also think that it's one of the most damaging beliefs that we have collectively normalized about love. Because if you genuinely believe that there's only one person out there that is meant for you, think about what that automatically creates. It creates pressure, it creates scarcity, it creates fear, and it also creates a lot of anxiety. And that happens because suddenly every person that you meet, they have enormous significance. They're either into the category of being the one or being a waste of your time that is holding you back from meeting the one. So what happens is that every breakup, it becomes very devastating, because what if you have just lost the one? What if you just did something that ruined everything with that one person? Every dating experience, it becomes loaded with a lot of pressure, because what if you are wasting your time with the wrong person? Every disagreement that you have in your relationship, it becomes a reason for you to question whether you have chosen correctly. And if you're still single, you begin wondering whether you have maybe somehow missed the mark, maybe you missed your chance, you missed the boat, or whether your person maybe simply doesn't exist, because the difference between 1 and 0 is very small. If we think that some people, the luckiest of people, are assigned 1, you could see yourself, maybe I'm just unlucky, maybe I don't have that one. The idea of the one doesn't make love feel magical. It just makes it feel scarce. And I don't believe that's how healthy love is supposed to feel. Hi guys, I'm Adriana and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm talking about the idea of the one and how I believe that is one of the most damaging beliefs that we have collectively normalized, and how we should be looking at love instead from an angle that is more abundant and more healthy, in the way that it will allow us to see love with faith and trust, rather than from scarcity and fear. When I was growing up, I really loved those romantic movies, and I've seen that the entire plot is usually revolved around two people who were somehow destined to be together. And these are the two people that, against all odds, they found each other and they stuck with each other. And the moment that they did, their lives suddenly started making sense. So we have been taught that love is something that we discover, that we stumble upon, rather than something that we can intentionally create and add into our lives. We have been taught that there is just one perfect person out there somewhere on this planet that we are waiting for to come into our lives, so they can complete our story, so they can help us make sense of our world and of our life. Honestly, after a lot of years of thinking like that, I eventually had to ask myself the question of, well, what if there isn't one soulmate? What if there are thousands of people that you can just potentially build a beautiful life with? What if love and relationships, it's something that you consciously create, something that you create intentionally? These questions started to shatter those beliefs and assumptions I've made in the past, seeing all of these romantic movies, and it really changed the way that I approach relationships. Because instead of searching for the right person, I started focusing on becoming the right person. And that is because I understood that this is something that won't just out of destiny happen to me, but it's something that I will have to take responsibility for, to create and to align with. So while I was dating, I had to stop asking all these questions of, well, is this my soulmate? Is this the person that I'm supposed to marry? What if I miss my chance? What if I do something to ruin it? And I started asking questions more like, well, do our values align? Do we bring out the best in each other? Are we able to communicate well? Are we willing to grow together? Do we both choose this relationship every single day? I understood that healthy relationships are not built on fate or on destiny. I was able to start noticing the pattern that healthy relationships are built on compatibility, on emotional maturity, on the right timing, shared values, and conscious choice. And I personally started to realize that, wait, this is way much more romantic than the idea of the soulmate. One of my favorite realizations actually about relationships is that I genuinely believe that there's only two conditions that are required for a relationship to work. The first condition is compatibility, is what we call chemistry and alignment between two people. And the second one is the willingness to make it work, which means it's like two people who align with each other, they are compatible with each other, and secondly, they are willing after that to choose one another and choose to make that relationship work. And that's it. I think that we have massively overcomplicated love. We are so confused with so much information and so much noise about relationships. We obsess without reason over soulmates, over timing, over zodiac signs, whether someone is meant for us, whether the universe is sending us signs, or whether we're supposed to feel some magical certainty from the very beginning of a relationship. When you really look at healthy, lasting relationships, they all have one thing in common, and that is two people who are committed to choosing one another. And that is two people who are compatible with each other, have that chemistry with each other, and who are committed to choosing one another. Because here's what I failed to understand at the beginning of my relationships journey, and that is that every long-term relationship will eventually experience difficult conversations, misunderstandings, stressful seasons of life, moments where one person is struggling more than the other. You're going to experience inevitably personal growth and change. You're going to experience disagreements, conflict, and honestly, periods that don't feel so effortless. And there is no soulmate exemption from being human. Finding the one doesn't suddenly mean that you never have to navigate challenges together ever again in your lives. I genuinely don't think that relationships work because two people were magically destined to be together. And because they were magically destined to be together, they are meant to live a magical, effortless, drama-free life. I think that the reason that the relationships work is because two people decide that they're willing to figure it out, and they're willing to figure it out together. And they continuously ask themselves, how can we make this work? How can we make sure we show up for this? Instead of asking, oh, maybe we're not meant to be, and doubting the relationship. And that is the truth. The truth is that almost every healthy, happy couple that you admire, they could have easily become strangers by now had they made different choices throughout their relationship. Had one of them made one choice of not prioritizing the relationship, giving up, or not willing to make it work anymore, they could have as easily been done right there and then. This is where it brings us to the realization that relationships are not maintained by destiny. There's not a puppet master that we call God, that we call the universe, and is like holding the strings of our life and therefore controlling of how these two people are meant to stay together, and no matter what happens, they are just going to stick around. We understand that we have power over our relationships. Relationships are actually maintained by our thousands of conscious decisions, our power to decide what we do, how we react, our decisions to stay open, to communicate, to grow, and to choose one another. Love is much less about finding the right person and is much more about two people becoming the right people for each other over time. I think this is infinitely more romantic than the idea of soulmates. Because imagine this, someone is not with you because some invisible cosmic force is assigning them to you, and therefore there's no other option for them but to make it work with you. They are with you because every single day they wake up and they choose you. They make the conscious choice to choose you. You do the same. You consciously choose them. Out of the billions of people on this planet, they consciously decide you are the person they want to build their life with. And not because they have to, not because there's no other choice, but because they are the one and you have to make it work. Not because fate has assigned them to you, but because they genuinely want to. They genuinely decide consciously that this is what they want. One of the biggest mindset shifts that changed my life was also realizing that compatibility isn't something that is found, isn't something that, again, you stumble upon. It's also something that you create. People spend so many years looking for that perfect person that has all the qualities that they're looking for and they have no flaws. And I'm not saying that for you to then understand from this that, oh, okay, then maybe I should just focus on the potential of a person. But I want you to understand that the right relationship will feel effortless, yes, but not because you have found the one, but because you have found the one that is willing to do the right thing by the relationship. Again, every healthy relationship requires communication, requires compromise, vulnerability, emotional intelligence, effort, growth, and choice. All of these relationships will face these realities, and believing in the one can sometimes become an excuse for us to avoid doing the work that healthy love actually requires from us, because we think that if something becomes difficult, people immediately assume that, okay, well, maybe they're not my soulmate, because soulmates are supposed to feel effortless and magical and dreamy. Instead, what we need to be asking is, what can we learn from this? What is missing actually? What is missing from me? And am I willing to do the personal work that is required to add in this relationship, to add my part? You should always understand your part in a relationship and understand the part of the other person. Understand the part that you have control over. And that's the only thing that you can work on and you can change and you can improve. When you have reached your own personal maximum, then you can decide, well, why is this person not working on it? Why is this person not adding to it? Of course, there's some relationships that they shouldn't be saved. And this is where the first condition comes in, where we speak about compatibility, because compatibility matters tremendously. But again, compatibility is very different from perfection. So the idea of the one also creates this another dangerous belief, and that is the belief that love happens to us. So instead of something that we actively participate in creating. So think about the language that we generally use around love. We use phrases like, oh, I fell in love, I found my soulmate, I met my person. It's almost like something that happened to us. Rarely do we talk about love as something that we intentionally build, something that we intentionally add in our lives. I want you to remember that lasting love is not found in one single magical moment. Love is going to be created through thousands of ordinary moments, thousands of mundane moments, and is choosing that kindness during those difficult conversations, is choosing vulnerability when it's uncomfortable and your ego comes up, is choosing to grow together, is choosing to stay curious about one another no matter how long you've been with each other, is choosing each other over and over again, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable or unfamiliar it can feel. This just makes us understand that love is far more intentional than we have been taught to believe. And so, ironically, letting go of the idea of the one actually made dating so much easier for me. And that is because suddenly I wasn't placing every person that I was meeting on the pedestal. I wasn't wondering whether this could have been my future husband and we were just, at the second date. I wasn't any longer terrified of making the wrong choice. I wasn't catastrophizing every single breakup and thinking that this is the end. Because if things didn't work out, I no longer understood it and interpreted it as, oh, I've lost my one chance at love. Instead, I understood it from the perspective, well, we were just not aligned, and that's okay. When you see it from that simple perspective, it just relaxes you so much. Like, you stop blaming yourself. You stop seeing yourself as the reason of your suffering. Someone not being right for you and you not being right for them doesn't mean something has gone wrong. Doesn't mean that they are faulty or you are faulty. It simply means that two humans weren't compatible in that particular season of their lives. And that realization is incredibly freeing and also helps tremendously to release all of that pressure that we put on ourselves to make sure that we don't do anything to break things and fail at things. So I want to share with you the mindset shifts that completely changed the way that I think about soulmates and the way that I think about relationships in general. And I'm also going to recommend you the books that I read that helped me establish these mindset shifts, because I know that to rewire ourselves, we need to have a new experience. And sometimes we don't have to wait for that experience to happen to us to understand and to make that shift internally. We can create that shift internally, that is what we need, through other experiences. So books, whether you read about the story of other people or whether you read books that explain to you a perspective in such a way that really clicks inside of you, I believe that they have the power to create that internal change on their own. For each point, for each mindset shift, I will recommend to you a book. So if you feel like, oh, okay, with this one I'm struggling a bit and I can't understand it because I understand it consciously, but I needed to go deeper than that. I want to understand it subconsciously. Then by reading more about it and reading books about it and journaling more about it, of course, can help that point sink in. I think these mindset shifts have the potential to really free you as well from all this false propaganda that we were fed about relationships, and it will finally allow you to create your relationships from an intentional space that comes from inside of you, like a personally intentional space. So the first mindset shift was to stop looking for the one, was realizing that I need to stop being in the search for the one and instead to start looking for alignment. So after some failed talking stages, I was able to see that I'm not going on dates and dating people under that one strict condition that they are the perfect one. But I finally was able to see that, well, I'm going on dates because I simply put myself out there to see how much I align with this person. And I knew that based on probabilities that, well, the people that I will end up aligning with wouldn't be as many. But instead of letting that defeat me, I simply saw it, this is a chance for me to go out there and to learn what I like and what I don't like from people, to learn from this person what I connect with and what I don't connect with, and see what are the things that I didn't realize were important to me in a partner. So that, and also seeing the date more from an angle that, well, this is a chance for me to make a potential friend, rather than just putting that huge expectation of finding your one person from this one single date that is going to be your person for the rest of your life. It just puts too much pressure, too much expectation on someone that literally you wouldn't even, maybe you don't even connect with, maybe you don't even have compatibility or chemistry with. So when you go with simply the intention, well, let me see if I will connect with this person from a place of friendship, then it just drops all that pressure. You see that there are benefits from here that for you that are not necessarily connected to fulfilling your need for a relationship. It's more fulfilling in the sense of having fun, making friends, and also learning more about yourself. And it doesn't have to be that serious. So what I did was I started to ask these questions for the people that I will be dating. It wasn't that I was a date and I was running these questions, but they were, I was getting the cues that will then be the answer to these questions that I will be answering after a date, for example. So I will ask, well, do we share similar values? Did we seem to communicate well? Do I genuinely like who I am around this person? Are we both emotionally available? Can we build a beautiful life together? And these are the questions that focus on compatibility. And compatibility will always matter more than the idea of destiny, the idea of fate. Being aligned and compatible is the first condition to a healthy relationship. And then comes the willingness to make it work. But if you're not first and foremost aligned or compatible, and you don't share that chemistry with that person, then it doesn't matter how much you both are trying to make it work. It simply won't. So this mindset shift really became solidified by one book that completely changed the way that I viewed relationships. And that was the book, The Course of Love by Alain de Botton. Alain de Botton. This book is probably one of the most realistic depictions of love that I have ever read, because it really dismantles the idea that love is something that we find, and instead is teaching us that it's something that we build, something that we create. So this is a novel that explores what happens after a couple falls in love, and is focusing on the lives of the two main characters after marriage and the long-term realities of having a shared love. So this is a book that has a mix of fictional story, and also it has a lot of philosophical commentary that is really trying to show that love really is a skill that we must learn rather than just a feeling. It's not just something that we feel and something that we stumble upon and we find, but it's something that we need to learn. The key ideas that I took from this book is firstly that it's talking about the flawed ideals that we were given. Basically, the author explains that the traditional romantic stories that we were sold, they do us a disservice because they make us think that love should always be easy, it should be magical, it should be effortless, right? The second key idea that I took from it is that love is a skill. So real and lasting love survives not by the magic that we're talking about, but through that patience, the forgiveness, and the emotional maturity of the people involved. And the third key idea that it's talking about is the idea of our inner baggage, and how in our adult fights, in our adult relationships, they actually usually come from our childhood wounds and our old insecurities that we end up projecting into our partners. Because of those childhood wounds, we see that we haven't healed yet. We still feel like the child, we still feel like the wounded child that is inside of us, and we see our partners as our parents or our caregivers that created that wound, and we project that onto them. So the second mindset shift is understanding that love is a choice and not a cosmic assignment. So this is the second condition where the willingness to make the relationship work comes in. So healthy relationships aren't sustained and kept by fate and kept by destiny, but they're actually sustained by the two people who continuously choose one another. The most romantic thing in the world isn't someone being destined for you. It's someone consciously choosing you every single day. And trust me, you will know the difference between someone that is there because it is convenient and someone that shows up every single day for their relationship because it is one of their priorities, because it's one of the things they care about. The one book that changed my perspective on this was a book called Everything I Know About Love by Dolly, Alderton. And ironically, this is not a book about finding romantic love at all. It's about growing up and realizing that life was never about waiting for that one person to arrive before it could be beautiful, it could be experienced. So it really talks about all of the chaos of our early adulthood. It talks about the value of female friendships, and it speaks a lot also about self-discovery and healing. And in this part that relates to our point is really talking about overcoming deep insecurities and that intense urge to seek validation through men, through the other gender. She's speaking about surviving painful breakups and learning those vital lessons from that rejection. And also about realizing that self-worth comes from within, and finding also that comfort from being alone and finding the value of that. The third mindset shift that really dismantled the idea of the one was understanding that there are actually many people that you could potentially be happy with. And I know this idea makes some people very uncomfortable because we have been really taught and we have been drilled with this idea that soulmates are romantic and they are making relationships unique and special, and that, you know, that we are assigned one right person, each of us, and that's it. And that if we ever get to experience a love that is so strong and so passionate and so emotionally charged, that nothing else or no one else will ever measure up to that or up to them. But the truth is, this idea is a construct of our mind. What I mean by that is that we choose to assign so much meaning, so much potential, and so much future on one single person. And it's not the universe that does that, it's us. And if we actually open up ourselves to the possibility, we will see that love can be built with others. It could be created with another person. And obviously not in the same way that you have created it with the last person, but maybe that's exactly what we need. Honestly, shattering the idea of the one was very hard for me to understand at first, and I thought it really didn't make any sense. But as I started digesting it more, I actually started to find this incredibly comforting. And that is because it means that love is not fragile. It means that you haven't missed your chance. It means that if you break up, that is not the end of your story, the end of your love story. It means that no matter how old you are and how many breakups you go through, the potential of love is still there. And it means that your future isn't dependent on finding one specific person among 8 billion people on this planet. It just proved to me that love is far more abundant and far more expansive than we have been taught to believe. And so if you have ever struggled with understanding this idea, and you also really believe that there's only one person that is meant for you, I would recommend the book One True Loves. And honestly, it's just a reminder that our hearts are actually capable of loving more than once, and that love is often much more abundant than we have been taught to believe. So this is a book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It follows the story of Emma, who is a woman that is torn between her long-lost husband, who returns alive after many years, where they assume that he died in a helicopter crash, and her new fiancé Sam, who is a childhood friend who helped her heal. This book explores the deeper meaning of how people change, and is showing that a person can have more than one great love during different stages of their lives. So the next mindset shift that really helped me dismantle the belief of the one was to stop romanticizing effortless love. And I really want to be clear about this one, because I do believe in love feeling effortless, and I do believe in not having to force things in relationships, not having to force things to happen, to unwrap, to unfold, to just try to control it. But there is a distinction to be made. I believe that the verb of love is not effortless. The action of showing love every single day in one way or another requires some effort. Maybe not the same amount every single day, but it does require some effort. That's what I mean by healthy love is not effortless, and that healthy love is intentional. I think the right relationship will feel obviously easier than toxic ones in so many ways, especially in the amount of effort that if you have to add and put, but it will still require effort. It will still require communication, and it will still require growth from you. I think these are fundamentals of relationships, and if you do not have them, then you do not have a relationship. And again, I want to clarify this, because there's so many people that could take this point and they can understand it in a way that, oh, you see that, well, love is not effortless. That means that love has effort, that therefore I'm supposed to try, I'm supposed to do things to prove my worth, I'm supposed to prove myself, to prove my love to my partner, otherwise they're not going to stay. And to that, I want to say that I completely disagree with. This is just a mindset that comes from a place of scarcity, of fear and doubt, rather than from a place of true love and true security. And you only do that because you feel that you need to be useful. You feel like you need to be of constant service and action towards your partner in order to be deserving of love, in order to prove to yourself that now I get to be loved back because I have earned it. And to me, that is just a limiting belief that you need to work on. Love doesn't have to be earned and it doesn't have to be proved. It is something that is felt, it is seen and is noticed, and that is entirely different. So one of the books that completely transformed the way that I think about long-term relationships is the book by Esther Perel called Mating in Captivity. So this book, it explores the tension between love, desire, commitment, and it really reminds us that relationships are not successful because they are effortless. They are effortless because two people continue to nurture them over time. The fifth mindset shift is to learning to become the person that you are hoping to find. So I remember the day that I came to this realization. I was thinking of the person that I wanted to attract. So I came up with all these amazing qualities that I realized that I wanted and I needed in a partner. And then I realized that, wait, if I attracted this person tomorrow, then if there's someone that is secure in themselves and knows their worth, they will expect the same things in return. And they will expect these things from me. That make me question, well, this person that I want to attract, will that person be attracted to me and to that insecure version of me that I am now? I was able to see that gap then and there of who I was and who I needed to be in order to attract and to be in the same vibrational level as the person that I wanted to attract. I think a lot of us make the mistake of spending years trying to identify who our soulmate is and who our soulmate will be, while investing very little time becoming someone who can create a healthy relationship, while becoming someone that person we want to attract is going to be attracted to in return. So I took that as my sign to ask myself, well, am I emotionally available? Do I communicate well? Can I regulate my emotions? Do I have healthy boundaries? Have I created a life that I'm proud of? Do I have the same healthy habits and the same healthy values that I expect from my person? Because the quality of your relationships will always be limited by the quality of your relationship with yourself. And once I was able to change that relationship that I had with myself, the way that I behaved, the way that I acted, the habits and the beliefs that I had, I started becoming the version of me who was in the same vibrational level with the person that I wanted to attract. And from there, it's easy, right? It's like, it's a matter of physics to attract them. That I really love, it really hits this point. I'm sure a book that you have heard or maybe even read before called Letters to a Young Poet. So this is less of a self-help book and is more of a conversation about becoming who you're meant to be. And what it told me really was that maybe it was never about finding love, but it was becoming the person that is capable of receiving it. So this book is a collection of 10 letters that is written to a young military student called Franz, and that is between 1903 and 1908. And Rilke really advises him to ignore any external criticism and to embrace deep solitude and look inward rather than going outwards and asking others if his poetry is good. Honestly, I don't think this book is really a book about poetry at all. I think it's a book about learning how to trust yourself. And one of the biggest lessons that I took from it was that we are constantly looking outside of ourselves for answers. We are constantly asking people, well, am I good enough? Am I making the right decision? Am I lovable enough? Is this person person right for me? Am I on the right path? And this could be like us asking questions about our relationships, about our career, about everything. And Rilke's answer over and over again is essentially, well, go inward. He talks a lot about embracing solitude and learning how to be alone with yourself instead of constantly needing that noise, needing that distraction or that external validation for you to feel like in peace. It really taught me to stop rushing life and to be more patient with that uncertainty, with those phases of uncertainty. One of his most famous ideas is to leave the questions instead of desperately trying to find all of the answers immediately and panic from the fact that you don't have the answers. And perhaps my favorite lesson from this book is that life is not happening to us, but it's shaping us. And all of the difficult seasons, all of the heartbreak, all of the loneliness, all of the uncertainty, all of it is part of becoming, and it's all forming us into ourselves. And reading this book genuinely felt like you're sitting down with someone much wiser than you. I was being reminded that I don't need to have everything figured out right now. I don't have to have the answers right now. It's okay to be in the phase of questions and uncertainty, and that it should be okay to be in the phase of becoming and figuring things out. And the final mindset shift was to stop treating love like a treasure hunt. This was a hard realization because I've spent so many years spending so much energy, spending so much time being on the lookout wherever I will go off, that maybe I will potentially find and step into my future boyfriend. And let me save you some time and some energy right now by telling you that you will never find them that way. You know the saying that goes that love will find you when you're not looking? Well, that saying is true. And even though you might be sick of hearing this again and again, I'm sure like you heard this in the past and you were thinking maybe this won't be true for you. In my personal experience and from the patterns of other healthy relationships that I have seen, love happened when they were not looking. When two people were happy and they were content being where they were in their lives and they were in love with their lives, they naturally and they organically attracted love. And I know that a lot of people, when they hear this, they think, okay, like I'm going to say that I'm not looking, but I'm just gonna keep one eye on the lookout. I want to keep one of my eyes closed and one of my others open. And I guarantee you that won't work either, because it doesn't matter if you have like one eye closed, like your energy is still on the lookout. For me, personally, it changed everything when I understood that. I'm not trying to locate one hidden human being on this planet who holds the power to my happiness and holds the key to my happiness, but I'm here to learn how to build healthy, secure, and fulfilling relationships. And first and foremost, one with myself. And doing that requires skill and not luck. So if what I need to be focusing right now is not finding them and like making sure I'm open to them and like on the lookout for them, but focus on building the skill, the capacity, the space for them. And that is a skill that requires knowledge, filling your knowledge gap, exercising that knowledge, and becoming that person, becoming the version of you that is ready for love and acts in that healthy and secure way. So if I could recommend one book to anyone who feels like, well, they're running out of time, I think the right book for this it's a book by Cheryl called Tiny Beautiful Things. And this book has this incredible way of reminding you that life unfolds in ways that we could never predict, and that honestly some of the most beautiful things happen when we stop trying to force them, when we stop trying to make them happen. And yeah, I really think that it changed so much of my perspective and really helped me to detach and let go. Ironically, letting go of the idea of the one made me feel more hopeful about love than ever before. And that is because it reminded me that love isn't something that is reserved for a lucky few people who happen to find their soulmate. They were lucky to find their one. But it just helped me understand that, well, love is something that is available to every single one of us. And it doesn't matter how late we are, how much we fail. It's something that is going to happen, and it's possible to every single one of us. And the condition for that is for us to be willing to build it, to be intentional enough to create it. So the goal isn't to find the perfect person who magically completes your life, but the goal is to become someone that is capable of creating beautiful relationships and finding someone equally willing to create one with you. Because I really don't believe that there's one person out there that is meant for you. I believe that there are many people that you could potentially build a beautiful life with, but a relationship only works when two people are willing to continuously choose one another and make it work. Personally, I think that's much more romantic than the idea of fate could ever be. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I really hope this video clicked or resonated with you. And as always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at my Instagram or at the link below. So I will see you very soon on the next one.